So I'm driving around Iceland, and today I'm doing the Golden Circle. The Golden Circle is a 150-mile, 250-kilometer round-trip drive from Reykjavik, taking you through a lot of, the beautiful sights in this part of Iceland. And online, I'm seeing take 1 day, 2 days, 3 days to do it. I got 4 hours of daylight. It's the second shortest day of the year, December 22nd. So let's see what sights I can catch and show you. Now the first step, I left at 10:30, about an hour before sunrise. That's when I left the city. And I punched in parking 5 for Thingvellir National Park. Thingvellir. It's not spelled how you think it is. Here's how you spell it. It's a UNESCO site. Driving slow, my 4x4 here, you see the conditions. It's about a 40-minute drive to the first stop. I rented this car at the airport from Go Rental, and it's about 750 euros for 11 nights. Look, it's 11:30. The sun is up. Let the day of sightseeing begin. Parking 5, as promised, and this is Thingvellir National Park. And what's so special about it is the park lies in a valley between the two tectonic plates. The North American tectonic plate, right here, and then several kilometers in the opposite direction, and they are drifting apart, is the Eurasian tectonic plate. So the park is in the valley between the two drifting tectonic plates. Pretty cool. We'll bang through this one pretty quick. Some more exciting things to see in this. It's a big park. You can spend many hours hiking around the various trails here. But I just wanted to take you to two spots. One is this church here. So there has been a church here for over 1,000 years. And it is where a parliamentary general assembly met from 930 AD until 1798. This church was built in 1859, the Thingvellir Church. More excitingly, this is where they drowned the witches. They put a bag over the heads of the women who had been involved in witchcraft and dumped them right here in the lake. Very efficient. No more witches. And the second thing I wanted to show you before pushing on to the next stop is whatever the hell everybody's looking at over there. I actually don't know what it is. I'm guessing it's a waterfall. I just looked it up. I'm not going to waste your time or mine. Only have 3 hours and 10 minutes of daylight left. It is a small waterfall, but I'm going to be showing you a much bigger and better waterfall today. So let's move on. By the way, it's like $8 to park here. You're supposed to enter your license plate in that machine there. Allegedly, there are cameras hidden all over the place, checking if you paid or not. It's about an hour's drive to the next stop. In Google Maps, I punched in Geyser Glima Restaurant. It's about another $8 to park here. And if you don't pay using the Park app or whatever, they charge you something like $40. Plus administration fees if it gets passed on to your rental car company. So how cold is it here? Great question. Minus 14 Celsius right now. There are a number of geysers here. One of them, named the Great Geyser, which gave us the English word of, wait for it, geyser. Yeah, geyser came from Iceland. Thank you, Iceland, for giving us that word. But we're going to see Strokkur. because the Great Geyser doesn't really erupt much anymore. So Strokkur Geyser is what we're gonna see. It erupts every 6 to 10 minutes. Its usual height is 15 to 20 meters, but sometimes it erupts as high as 40 meters, 130 feet. Strokkur has been erupting on and off since 1789.
That was great.
Take a quick look inside this restaurant. Oh, this is interesting. So they got pictures all over the walls of wrestlers. They're trouser grip wrestlers, national sport of Iceland. It's an ancient form of wrestling by the Vikings. Anyway, predictably, it's a zoo. I won't be getting any food here or even anything to drink. Shit, less than an hour of daylight. So 10 minutes to the next spot. Just type in Gullfoss Car Park. Welcome to Gullfoss, which many believe is the most beautiful waterfall in all of Iceland. There was a travel book of two Danes from 1907, and they said no waterfall in Europe can match Gullfoss in both ferocity and fury. And it outdoes Niagara Falls in the United States with the power of thousands of unharnessed horses. Water flows into the gorge. That's what they wrote. That was the upper viewpoint. There's a lower one too. Let's check that out real quick. It is now minus 16 Celsius, about 3 degrees Fahrenheit. So up until now, we've been driving further and further away from the city. So at this point, we turn around and do the southern part of the loop. Now, because the sun is down, it's pretty much over for me. It's a 2-hour drive back to the city. But if the sun was up, the next stop would be Secret Lagoon, the oldest geothermal pool in Iceland. Go for a little swim. And then I would type in Kerið crater. I punched in the crater. It's about an hour's drive away, just in case there's a little bit of light left by the time I get there. Not holding out much hope though. I just passed it, but another popular spot on the Golden Circle is a restaurant, and there may be one or two of them, but I think I remember reading Friedheimer or something like that. I'll write it in the captions. And they serve, veggies that they grow in their greenhouse. And I guess you could take a little tour of the greenhouse and see tomatoes growing in Iceland. Yeah, so we made another site. Sun set about 45 minutes ago. It was about an hour's drive from the waterfall. Kerið crater. Kerið crater. And you can walk down to the frozen lake where someone has written Butt and Tommy. But we're not going to do that today. Moving on. All right, let's try to do another stop. Why not? till it becomes impossible. We're in a town called Selfoss, if I'm saying that right, and it is here where our next stop is. Okay. There's a man buried here, and you might recognize his name. Find the stone. Found it. Yeah. It's a very unassuming marker. The grave of Bobby Fischer, American chess grandmaster, who in 1972, here in Iceland, in Reykjavik, in what was billed as a Cold War confrontation, defeated USSR's Boris Spassky. 20 years later, he got into trouble because the rematch was held in Belgrade, in Yugoslavia, and the United States said, don't go to Yugoslavia, and he did. He won millions of dollars when he defeated Boris again, but the United States issued a warrant for his arrest. And so Boris, in order to avoid extradition, appealed to Iceland for citizenship on humanitarian grounds, and they gave it to him. Lived out the rest of his years here and died in Reykjavik in 2008. They love hot dogs in Iceland. It might be one of the reasons they're so happy here, because they just so happen to have some of the best hot dogs in the world. And I'm gonna get myself a hot dog right now here in Selfoss. Are they lamb or are they pig?
They're a mix of
Mix of lamb and
I think a horse.
lamb and horse.
And the pig, I don't know.
Oh, I mean, that sounds great. I've never had a deep fried hot dog. I'll try a deep fried hot dog.
Okay.
Burritos, cheese, and garlic sauce.
Okay.
Yeah, cool.
Is there anything else?
No, that's all.
Okay.
Welcome to, I think, 5 days into the future, where coincidentally I find myself on just about the same part of the Golden Circle where I left you. And I'm at a rather unassuming wall, and look what I just found. Yeah, look at that. The mall is built over a fissure, over the two tectonic plates. Here's Europe, and here's North America. And if you want to read all about it, feast your eyes on this. There's an earthquake simulator here, looks like. I've been in a few earthquakes before, so I'm going to skip the Earthquake Simulation Center, which is about 2 minutes drive. It's the visitor center in town. Let's see what else I can show you in the future. How about that? I saw smoke coming up from the snow, so I stopped at this abandoned parking lot that still wants $7 to park here, and there's cameras, so I paid. Here's where I am. Anyone up for a bath? Okay, there's a sign. I'm in the Valleys of Hot Springs. Geothermal temperature here is 200 degrees Celsius at 1,000 meters depth. This whole area is located on the south side of a volcano. There was once a greenhouse here, built from 19 The Icelandic farmers had used naturally heated soil for a long time to grow potatoes and other veggies before greenhouse production using geothermal heat came into being in the early 1900s. Check out the mud pond. Way too cold down here. Back to the car. In fact, I'm going to return you back to your regularly scheduled present video. I'm back home. It was an 8-hour round trip drive. And my advice to you would be to skip it. Skip the Golden Circle, at least in the wintertime. 4 hours of daylight is not enough to enjoy the road trip. All right. Peace out.